Hello, guys. Happy Monday. Cheers to you. It's like so chilly outside. Any of my Canadian friends here, so I'm getting cozy on the couch. And today, it's actually really ironic because this is the very place that I love to cuddle my kiddos. Right? So today we're talking about kids essentials. So what are some of the things that as a parent, I've done to consciously create a new culture within our house, okay? Because this is certainly not something that I was raised with, but recognizing that we need some change to happen in our world, right? And like with so many things, this change is going to come from the things that we are teaching our kids, right? So, you know, setting the standard for what kind of happens within your house. I mean, we know this as parents. There's so many things that we can't control. Some of the things my kids have picked up at school, right? But the things that I can control, even though I'm trying to let go of my control freakness, things that I can control are the things that come into my house, right? The choices that are made within our home. So that it makes me really passionate, okay? And, it started off with me where, when I was first pregnant, I started really paying attention to, the things I was thinking and feeling and eating and breathing. And because I was very aware that everything I did was impacting my kids, right? Well, now that they're here, I'm recognizing that, oh my gosh, I have two little sponges who are just soaking up everything that I do and that I say, right? This is where the things that are in our home and the products that we're using are very, very important. Okay. So I want to keep this as simple as I can for you guys. And, I want you to kind of feel comfortable with it. So if you haven't joined before, I'm Dylan Miller, and I created Proactive Essential Health with the want and the need to empower others in their health, okay? To really encourage people to be as proactively thinking about everything, right? Versus constantly being reactive, right? Oh, I'm sick, I'm gonna take this. There's lots of things you can do to prevent sickness, right? There's lots of things that you can do to prevent being up in the middle of the night, not being able to sleep. There's things that you can do to prevent illness, to prevent being drained. And there's things that we can do to prevent our kids from growing up in a space where they don't feel like they are empowered, right? So, even if this is not how you were raised, we can get this done, right? But before I begin, I really want you to think about, I've told you why I'm here. I want you to think about why you're here. Why is this something that you want to hear more about, right? What is your, I want you to think about, if your child had optimal health, what could they achieve? What's possible? Okay. And I want you to think about, what would you, I want you to think about what would make our time together most valuable. And if you have any specific questions, I want you to post them in the chat box. I can actually see it. So if you have any of those questions that pop up, please feel free, because I want you to actually get the most out of our time. And if you're watching this afterwards, again, feel free to post it. I'll keep an eye out for it. But I want you to really think about what this actually means to you and why you're here. I know I completely understand a parent's desire to help their children to thrive in their health, right? And it seems a little ridiculous me asking, what's possible for your kids if they have optimal health, right? But at the end of the day, we live in a scary world, right? And there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's overwhelming. I remember, even just finding out I was pregnant and realizing that everything that I had once used on my skin and in my home, and the things that I was taking to help me feel more comfortable, during allergy season or cold and flu season or whatever, I couldn't take that stuff anymore, right? And I was very overwhelmed because I had to create a new normal, right? So I want your mind to be put at ease, okay? Specifically, obviously, we're going to talk about essential oils too, right? Because essential oils are the foundation of many of the products that you use, right? So even if you aren't ready to tap into the DIY world, you know, any of the natural products that you buy are going to be essential oil infused, right? So I want you to feel comfortable and understand what is an essential oil and how to use it. And there's some really, really great blogs about using essential oils with your kids that I'm actually going to post one of them in the chat box so that you can have a look at it. And I want you to specifically, you know, I've already mentioned pregnancy, and I get a lot of questions about essential oils and pregnancy. And if you are pregnant or know someone that's interested in start getting a little bit more natural in order to become pregnant or is pregnant, have them watch this YouTube video that I'm linking up as well. It's actually Dr. Hill, and he talks about using essential oils when you're pregnant, okay? That's when I was pregnant, that's actually when I started using essential oils ultimately. And this is where, you know, growing another human little being, you want to do your research, right? Because it's not something, just like I'm not asking you to take using plants lightly. You know, if you're going to be skeptical of plants, I want you to also be skeptical of everything. Okay. I want you to be skeptical of, you know, what you're eating. And I remember I had a friend that her goal while she was pregnant was just to eat from every fast food restaurant, right? In hindsight, had I remotely thought about that, I thought it was hilarious at the time. Maybe would have suggested something a little bit different, right? I know she definitely regretted it afterwards. I think she regretted it more from the 90 pounds she gained from pregnancy. But you know, you really want to be aware of everything, right? And when it comes to essential oils, not all essential oils can be created equally. Okay, so I want to give you a little bit of information about essential oils, and specifically one of the reasons why I chose doTERRA. First and foremost was because of their co-impact sourcing. So this means that they get their plants from where their plants are originating, okay? So where their indigenous environment is. And that means that they are grown and harvested at the proper altitude, the climate, the season, the soil. Obviously, if you're growing plants in their original environment where they thrive, you're going to end up with a superior plant at the end. And then when you're extracting the essential oils from a superior plant, you're going to get a superior essential oil, right? So that was a big one, right? When I learned that sourcing matters, I started researching, and I came down to a few essential oil companies, and without even doing, you know, the kind of research I've done now, just off the top of my head, that kind of just makes sense, right? The second reason was they're certified pure therapeutic grade. So they're the only, so when you see CPTG, this means that quality is at the forefront, okay? And they are the only essential oil company that is very transparent about all of the testing that they do with with their plants and with their oils and at various stages. Okay. There's lots of companies that'll say, oh, we do third-party testing. And I get lots of people asking me, oh, does that mean, you know, doTERRA is organic? It means that they are beyond organic. They're zero fillers, synthetics, dyes, pesticides, contaminants of any kind. Okay. They are just pure, unadulterated essential oils, which means that they're potent. Okay. And when you're using the essential oil from a plant, it is the most potent way to use that plant. Okay. So if I were drinking peppermint tea, if I wanted to set up my digestive system, I would actually need 1 drop of peppermint oil to be equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. Okay. Same plant, tea version, the essential oil from the same plant, okay? So you want to, especially when you use them on kids, we're going to talk about safety, is you want to make sure that you're diluting them, okay? And I will tee up in the chat box a dilution chart that I always recommend when using them. And I know I started using them when I was pregnant, but even when, you know, my daughters were born, my youngest daughter, gosh, I was using them on her starting at like within days of her being born, but a really, really, really diluted version, okay? So if our adult bodies need 1 drop in order to have an impact, you can imagine what their little bodies need, okay? There's 3 ways to use them. I'm sure you've already heard me talk about this, topically, aromatically, and internally, okay? Topically means, typically you're gonna put an essential oil where it's going to have the most impact, or where the ailment is. By the headache, temples, back of my neck, across my forehead, carefully not getting them in my eyes, in my ears, in my nose, anywhere where you have mucous membranes. You want to avoid that. But regardless of where I put it, even if I don't care for maybe the smell of an essential oil, or maybe I'm having an issue with my eye or with my ears, or with anywhere else, if you put them on the bottom of your feet, they will still go systemic throughout your body, because they're carried through the bloodstream within 20 minutes. Okay. So they'll have an impact on your brain within 20 seconds, right? So they are like crazy fast, okay? So they are fast. Aromatically, you know, I talked about how they would have an impact on your brain. So when I breathe the essential oils in, even if I just open up the bottle and smell it, it's going into my brain, working with my limbic system, which is kind of the puppet master of my entire body, within 20 seconds, okay? So aromatically means, you know, maybe I'm putting a drop on my hands and I'm smelling it. Maybe I have them going in my diffuser. Whatever, you know, sometimes I'll just open up the bottle and sniff the cap, whatever works. But feel free to use them in any of these ways. When you're using them with kids specifically, aromatically is an awesome way to start, right? And you know, while you're getting your comfort zone, you know, there, feel free to even, you know, when you have the diffuser going in their bedrooms, to have the door cracked, or whatever makes you feel most comfortable. But again, in a diffuser, you need 1 to 2 drops. It's not something that, you know, less is best when it comes to using your oils. Internally, I only take the essential oils internally if I'm drinking them in my water. My kids drink them, the citrus oils, in their water all the time. I take a capsule every morning. The capsules are a little bit big for my kiddos, so they don't take them. But we are going to talk about supplementation, so that you can make sure that your kids' bodies are working optimally as well. But again, this is the only brand that I would even remotely talk about taking internally, okay? And that's because of the quality. So, you know, I always like to remind parents that essential oils are not new or novel, okay? They have been in existence for thousands of years, and have been supporting health, and, you know, for all of our ancestors, okay? Essential oils contain those constituents that will be recognized by our body system and then handled appropriately. So, you know, unlike when there's something in my food, or if I am cleaning with something that is foreign, or breathing in something that's foreign, whether it's from a candle or a plug-in or whatever, my body recognizes that, and then it has to get rid of it, right, at some point. Essential oils aren't like that. Essential oils are the plants that have been here for thousands of years, okay? So our bodies recognize them. They were meant to heal us. So rest assured that if you use essential oils with your kids, you're not inventing a new wheel, but I want to teach you how to not reinvent the wheel, okay? So one thing you should always consider, for sure, and I mentioned this already, is that your kid's skin is not the same as adult skin, okay? So because it's usually thinner, more sensitive, although most doTERRA oils are non-irritating to the skin, it's a good idea always to dilute them, okay? And you know, even when you're first getting started, it's really recommended to apply the oils to the bottom of your feet where you have the largest pores, okay? And we talked about applying them to the bottom of your feet. And I'm going to, I'm gonna put them on to you for a second. And I'm going to link up a blog specifically on oils in kids. See how you like this one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. And before we kind of get into, you know, today we're going to talk about different ways that you can use oils to support all areas throughout your body and throughout your day. But I want to make sure that I touch first on the new kids line that doTERRA came out with. And I love that they did this. So this kit just came out in September-ish. Before this kit came out, I mean, I'm always a huge advocate of making your own roller balls as well. And doTERRA already has the top 10 oils as well as their entire emotional wellness line in diluted roller balls. Okay, so this is what I was between making my own roller balls or having the pre-diluted, you know, lemon, lavender, peppermint, tea tree, frankincense, oregano, On Guard, Zengest, Deep Blue, Easy Air. Okay, but I would just have those versions. But the nice part about these specific oils, it comes in a cute little carrying case. Before I went live, I had to go find this. It was actually kept in my 6-year-old's purse. That's where she keeps it, so that she knows, so that I know where it is, mommy, when I need it. And that's the nice part, right? How empowering is that for your kids? And I can honestly say, you know, it's not like I would give her a bottle of Tylenol and say, hey, honey, keep this in your purse just in case you need it, right? Whereas if she wants to empower herself and really take control over her mind, her body, she can do that with these, okay? And they're specifically designed, and it comes with these little cue cards that are super cute. But they were specifically designed, and they'll have little symbols on them, whether they are designed for the brain, for the body, or for the heart, okay? So the ones that are designed for the brain specifically they're more for focus and calming, okay? All the things that our minds need to do, especially while we're children. Any ones for the body are to protect and soothe the physical body, okay? And then the ones for the heart are to support balancing your emotions and encouraging just a more positive attitude, okay? So I want to go through, and I'm going to start with the Thinker rollerball. So this is actually the focus blend. And, you know, I get it. After, you know, a long day at school, the last thing your kids want to do is sit down and do homework, right? You naturally, you know, you want to let them burn off some energy and all that sorts of things. However, like I say to my daughter, who's, I mean, she's only in grade 1, my oldest, but I let her know, I'm like, the learning that you're doing within school right now is part of your job right now. So we need to, you know, figure out what that looks like for you and how and when you're going to find your times to focus and what that's going to look like, right? But when they need help with focusing, and my kiddos actually love to put this on before school, and you know, I totally remember I was definitely that kid that had ants in her pants all the time. And if you went to school with me, you can vouch for that one. All of my reports cards said Dylan has problems focusing and is quite the talker. I could have used some Thinker, I guess, back then. But it's, you know, it's nice that you can instill a sense of alertness and creativity just by, you know, rolling this on them. And it has, it has vetiver, peppermint, clementine, and rosemary. And, you know, if you apply this to the back of their neck or the insides of their wrists, you know, you can have them see the benefits. And it smells so damn good. And, you know, these little handle things, they can clip them on to different things as well. So just something fun for them to do. Next, I want to talk about Calmer. So Calmer is the restful blend. So you would think that, 10 bedtime stories later that you'd be able to peacefully walk out of your kid's bedroom to a sleeping child, but that's obviously not always the case, right? So, if you find yourself in this kind of dilemma, which we often do, this is a blend of lavender, kanga, Buddha wood, and Roman chamomile, which and then fractionated coconut oil as well. Put this on the bottom of their feet at bedtime. I even like to just give them a little massage as well. And it's kind of a part of our sleepy time routine, right? So first they have their Epsom salts bath with On Guard and lavender. Then they get in their PJs, which probably were washed in lavender as well. They brush their teeth. They apply this, okay? It's lights out. Our kids are pretty good sleepers. Next, I want to talk about Stronger. So Stronger is like that On Guard blend, the immunity boosting blend for kiddos, okay? So it has cedarwood, linseed, frankincense, and rose in it. So much different oils than what's in On Guard. Smells much different, but really, again, designed with the kiddos in mind, okay? Because it doesn't have things like clove and cinnamon in it, you're less likely to have skin irritations, okay? So if people have, and again, I'm a huge advocate for On Guard. My kids bath in it, but I'm talking 1 drop to half a cup of Epsom salts and baking soda, and then a whole tub of water, okay? But because there's no clove and cinnamon in this one, there's still really high antioxidant plants in it that will support your kids. Especially this time of year, Stronger is an awesome one. Next, oh my gosh, so grateful for this one right now. My youngest just started having growing pains. My oldest is still having them. I guess that's the perk of them being like a year and a half apart. But this one is a blend of, and unlike Deep Blue, this one has ones like copaiba, lavender, spearmint, and xanthan. So these essential oils are specifically designed to help with tension, tired, achy muscles, growing pains, okay? It smells, with the spearmint in it, it's similar, I guess. We know that spearmint and peppermint are natural analgesics to support our body through any tension, right? So that's typically what's happening when your kids are having sore muscles or anything. So, even if your kids are athletes or whatever, that would be a really good one for them. The next one I'm going to talk about is Steady. So Steady is the grounding blend, and this is one of the heart oils. It's one designed specifically to help them emotionally, okay? And we know that kids are just prone to really they're learning, right? So they have strong feelings and they're nervous and maybe anxious. So if your kids suffer from any of that, or even if you're trying to think proactively, Steady is going to be a good one. So this is a mix of amyris, balsam fir, coriander, and magnolia. And magnolia is one of my faves. It's actually what I wear, and it's mostly what I smell in this one. But it's kind of got like a pine, fruity, soft, woody kind of smell. I love it. I think I might actually wear it on myself right now. It's really pretty, but most importantly, it's really grounding. So it's kind of like balance, but using some of the other new oils that we have access to, which is always great. And then the last one to top it all off is the Brave blend. And this one for us is almost gone. We use this one quite a bit, but it's for encouragement, okay? So we apply it to the neck, the tummy, and just really trying to instill courage and confidence, okay? And I'm a big, huge advocate for things like affirmations, right? So whenever even I feel like my girls are in a headspace where they need to be kind of, flipped and thinking in a little bit of a different way, maybe even a little bit more positively about themselves or each other, this is where this one comes on. And my one daughter applies this one before she goes to school as well. And these are nice little tools that, your kids can even keep in their backpacks and, keep it in your locker, roll it on, do what you got to do to get through the school day. This handy pouch is, great as well. But keep them where you need them, just like we keep ours all where we need them, right? We want to encourage our kids to do the exact same thing. Now that is the entire kids line. There's also a baby line that came out as well, that has a lotion and a diaper cream in it, which also acts as a sunscreen. I love my DIY sunscreen, so I won't be using it for that. But I have used it on my youngest daughter has eczema, and every once in a while, especially this time of year, she'll get just rough patches, and I've used it on that and it's cleared right up. It's been great. So I really like the baby line for that, even though my girls aren't really babies anymore. But let's get down to and talk even about, when just some of the strategies that, and I was kind of looking back on some of my other posts and digging through some of the other things that, are common questions from you guys. And parents seem to always ask me strategies to help wake their kids up in the morning so that, maybe they're not late for school. There's a protocol that I recommend to parents, and that's that they either, diffuse or apply topically to the pulse points or bottoms of their feet, and the back of the neck. But it's called my Energize Your Morning protocol. So it has citrus bliss, elevation, balance, peppermint, wild orange, and on guard. And I also love to refer to, what I refer to as just getting out of bed, which is that's plain old peppermint and wild orange. It's actually what I use to get out of bed. I have a roller ball of it right on my nightstand, and I roll it on my hands, rub my hands together, scent tent right over my nose. Take 3 really big breaths in, and it is wowza. It's a good one. So peppermint, wild orange, fractionated coconut oil. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, those blends that I mentioned, citrus bliss, elevation, balance, and on guard, and peppermint, wild orange, they're all designed to be invigorating. Okay, you find which smell works for you. If you want to try any of those ones, you don't have them, I use them all on a regular basis. I'm happy to give you a little sample of one to see, if it's the right one for you. And, I mentioned before, it's super important for us to really be mindful of the fact that, our kids they're learning. And, yes, we remind them of the same flipping thing 20 times. But they're learning, and they're trying to learn so much every day, all day. And they're really just overstimulated, right? I think of how easy I get distracted, right? Let alone if I had a little person's brain that didn't know some of the awesome coping and focus strategies, right? So parents are always looking for ways to help their kiddos. And here are some ways that, you can do that. So first, creating some consistency around nutrition and mealtime and what that looks like. And making sure that it's an expectation, right? It's not, and I always go back to, when my kids have that why question, right? For me, it always comes down to safety, right? And I'll say to them, what's my job? And they'll say, to keep me safe. Okay, so you need to eat breakfast because it's my job to keep you safe. And this is how your body works. And this is how your body works when you haven't eaten. Okay. So, even just making sure that, if you have to put together some overnight oats the night before, right? Make time even, and encourage them to make time for physical play and activities. And this, I mean, this is ultimately what our kids are needing. So don't feel bad if you're taking away screen time or whatever that looks like. Be working time to be social as well, right? And you're thinking, I have a million different things to do. But even, my girls are at the age now where some of the things that I do around the house, whether it's, folding laundry or tidying up or whatever, we're doing these things together, right? And I'll say to them, the faster we get this done, then we can go play that board game, or then we can go do this or whatever, right? And then choosing and picking the essential oils that work best for them, and figuring out which ones they want, right? So some of the ones that specifically help with focus, there's a blend called In Tune, and it is a really good one to help with focus. It's the one that I personally put on around 2 p.m. when I start feeling myself wavering. Rosemary is another one. There's a lot of research actually diffusing rosemary in the area where your kids are doing their homework. Lemongrass is another one, peppermint, and clary sage. Now, clary sage even, and you can mix that with even vetiver and lemon. These are ones that not only diffusing them in the area where your kids are doing their homework, but clary sage is a big one for your preteens as well. So it is the blend for hormones. Again, bottom of the feet, back of the neck, and really just, help them to support themselves. Okay. So I also know that, you love your children. But, we're in a safe environment here. So right now, I want you to think about if you are regularly using essential oils, I want you to think about maybe some of the ones that you've used to help them calm down. Okay, safe environment here. Feel free to post them. So specifically, I love to use doTERRA's calming blend, which is called Serenity. And it is perfect for the situations where, maybe they're having a temper tantrum, or going to bed, putting in their bath. It has lavender in it, but it has some other, also some awesome oils to help with just calming them down. You may also just want to consider lavender, or there's one called Balance, which is the grounding blend. But any one of these, even putting them on, making up a spray, putting it on their pillow to support their bodies. Speaking of lavender, this is our personal one to help them go to sleep. And for me, lavender is kind of a double whammy, just straight up lavender. It not only, and again, huge amounts of research on lavender and sleep, but it's also, when I put it in their bath, it's great for their skin as well. And when I put it in their diffuser, it helps boost their immune system as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can support their body through that. And that's really what you're looking for, right? That's the, you want to look for those oils that kind of give you a double whammy, that best bang for your buck. Some of our other favorite oils that we like to use to support us at bedtime. So lavender is a big one, vetiver, and marjoram and serenity. So I mentioned serenity is the calming blend, and it's aptly named. I call it my mama oil. It's really the one that once I get the kids to bed, I'm sentencing the crap out of myself with serenity. Just even putting it on the back of my neck. I'm like Pavlov's dog with that oil. So not just for kids. Use it there, mamas. Let's talk healthy bodies, okay? Because healthy bodies, just like with us adults, lead to healthy minds. And, this is even more true for our youth, okay? So this is why, I encourage parents to get rid of products that they use that are filled with toxins, and either create your own cleaning and beauty products through DIY, or consider using the entire, doTERRA's On Guard line. There's a cleaner concentrate, toothpaste, hand sanitizer, which I have pretty much shoved everywhere. There's so much to do with this line. So sometimes I make my own, but I have the laundry detergent also, and the On Guard cleaner concentrate, for when I, need to do extra tough stuff. But there's facial cleansers, there's everything, there's soaps, there's bath bars, the On Guard beadlets. There's just tons of products when it comes to On Guard. So whichever ones that you're needing to support you in your home, but don't underestimate DIY. I was never going to be a DIYer ever. And now I couldn't picture myself without it. I couldn't picture myself relying on, going to the grocery store, or even ordering something, and having to wait for it. Right? No one got time for that. Okay. You want to be ready, right? Just like we want to be ready with our kiddos. Okay. And your kids, if your kids are like my kids, when they suffer in a very dramatic fashion, right? So Band-Aids to the rescue also, right? So doTERRA doesn't sell Band-Aids, sorry. But there is lots of things that you can use on their scratches and bruises and burns and all those other things that your kids are going to get, right? So a protocol that I highly recommend to support your kids in this time, if you do 1 drop of geranium, 3 drops of rosemary, 1 to 2 drops of lavender, and get, put that in a bowl of water, get a couple washcloths, and 1 bowl should just be, if you even have 2 bowls, so 1 bowl should just be hot water, the other one cold, and then combine the ingredients, so geranium, rosemary, lavender, soak the washcloths, and then even alternate between the hot and cold cloth to like a bruised area. It works really well for helping them not get as bruised to begin with. And when they have those days where they're outside playing and they come in and they're scratched up and bruised and whatever, it's really nice to know that when they are going to wash up, that the things that are getting into these open wounds aren't chemical laden, right? And there's actually, speaking of getting cuts and bruised and sweaty and gross, a perfect blend for you. You want to keep this one in your back pocket. It's going to help you eliminate odors, and you can diffuse, in your home or in your mudroom or whatever, is 2 drops of lemon, 1 drop of tea tree, 1 drop of cilantro, 1 drop of lime, and it will help to get rid of odors. This is also one for my hockey moms out there. If you want to create a spray and spray down hockey equipment with it, right? It's the bacteria that's making everything smell, right? So yes, it's, laying everything out and all that kind of stuff. But if you can kind of prevent that as well. So taking everything out, spraying it down, letting it dry, you'll be golden. And, obviously this in hockey, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But if you have, because I get asked on a regular basis about allergies, and, when the seasons are changing, and you need a little bit more immune support, I always recommend diffusing, because the benefits are, I mean, they're not just going to impact your kiddos, it's going to have a positive impact on the entire family. But specifically for the seasonal changes, your lemon, lavender, and peppermint, do 2 drops of those, of each of those in your diffuser. This is what's going to, it's actually an antihistamine. So I actually, our other dog, he used to get allergies, lick all the hair off his feet. I had a spray of that I would spray on his feet. Worked awesome. He stopped doing that. My husband gets really bad allergies, and he actually takes the Tri-Ease blend, which is the blend of lemon, lavender, peppermint in an already pre-formulated capsule. Or if you have veggie capsules, you can just create your own. Golden. If you want to be the coolest parent on the block, there is a candy store protocol, which consists of that you can put in your diffuser: 2 drops of wild orange and 2 drops of wintergreen, and it pretty much smells like pure candy. If you're, you know, looking for the kids to start flocking to your home, if your house is the house where all the kids are hanging out at, get that one going, and you'll be everybody's best friend. I want to jump back to On Guard, because you never know where your kids are putting their hands, and how they're going to clean them. So this is why I love the On Guard products, and I always recommend to parents to try them as well. So again, you can make your own hand sanitizer with 20 drops of On Guard in a 4-ounce spray bottle, using water and a little bit of our aloe vera gel, or you can use a pre-made one. As you can tell, I didn't mention alcohol in any of that, right? And that's the nice part. And it's the alcohol that actually dries out your skin really bad. So don't recommend alcohol-based hand rub, but there's a much more natural version to it. If some of the other things that you can do just to help with, you know, cleanliness, lemon is another game changer here. So, you know, making over all of our cleaning products, and lemon and On Guard are in everything that we're using. An awesome glass recipe: water, vinegar, lemon. Simple, easy peasy. Or even I'm washing the floors or whatever. And you know, my kids are the kids that when they come home, second they walk in the door, they are taking their socks off, right? Or, you know, the dog's drinking out of the toilet, or I got to talk about our fur babies as well, right? So it's all of these things. You know, if I talked about the bottoms of our feet having the largest pores, and then my kids are running around, what did I wash my floor with? Right? The dog's drinking out of the toilet, what did I clean the toilet with? My kids are soaking in the bathtub, what did I clean that bathtub with? Right? Because everything you think you rinsed out is still sitting in there and then is being ingested, whether it's through the skin or orally, right? And if your kids are like my kids, are touching everything and sticking their hands in their mouth. So if you are looking for just some easy, simple ways, On Guard Lemon will make over your entire cleaning bucket. And that glass cleaner that I mentioned with the water and vinegar and lemon, that's also an awesome stain remover. So when my kids come home with God knows what on their clothes, sometimes I just soak them in water, vinegar, and lemon. Other times I just give it a spray, and it's an awesome cleaner. I know, right? Another one, if your kids are needing a little bit more encouraging to do things, there's an awesome recipe. So if you get a 10 ml roller ball, do 2 drops of thyme, 2 drops of orange, 2 drops of clove, 2 drops of cinnamon. I mean, these are, all of those oils individually are loved by children, but it's, you know, it's a nice way to even just, diffusing those ones before meal times even, or adding those ones to your meals, so that, they're, will just make your, whether it's vegetables or, just a little bit tastier. And, it helps you to really just encourage them, right? So if you're using, that's the nice part about these, the oils that are meant to encourage are ones that, we can just in every way, shape, and form. Okay. I mean, you might not love the smell of thyme, the plant, but it works unreal, even for coughs. So if you, I had my one daughter last night, just had a dry cough. I think it was just dry in our house. So I added Easy Air and thyme to her diffuser in her bedroom, and she stopped coughing, which was cool, right? It was just one of those super empowering things that you can do. So thyme is an underappreciated oil that if there's any chronic coughing or even just a cold and flu coughing, that you want to, expose your kids to that one. To prevent, as much as possible, I really recommend hopping in on the vitamin train. So the doTERRA A to Z chewables is a really awesome formula. They are watermelon flavored, but they're little circle ones. They have they call them their smiley face ones. If you're an adult and you find it difficult to swallow capsules, grab one of these bad boys up. But it's a blend of B vitamins and a blend of vitamins A, C, and E, as well as botanical extracts to support healthy cell development and longevity. So the idea is to take them daily and it comes with omega-3 oils. I give these to my dog as well, but it is your fish oils, and they're designed to help support just healthy immunity, cognitive function, antioxidant protection. So, it has on the bottle all of the different vitamins and how much is in each one, and they come in a pack stuck together like that. And my kids have been taking them for years. I highly recommend them. Huge benefits. So my kids started taking them around age 3. And again, but if you're an adult, you can take them as well. But there's a blend to help with, to help with brain function. As I mentioned, they're watermelon flavor, so they taste really good. There's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, sweeteners, or flavor. It's like when we see the word scent or flavor is the exact same sort of thing, right? It's synthetically derived, so there's none of that. It contains superfoods and a blend that helps support your overall health and wellness. And it's formulated using, obviously, doTERRA's high quality essential oils. Just like the lifelong vitality vitamins are essential for our overall vitality, that's definitely the duo mixed with the probiotics that I would recommend for the kiddos as well. So with the probiotics, so these are called PB Assist Junior. And I always, heard, and I guess the misconception I had growing up was you're only ever on a probiotic when you're on an antibiotic, right? Well, our goal is to be on antibiotics absolutely minimally in your life, let alone as a child. But the PB Assist is really nice. It tastes like a pixie stick. Do you guys remember pixie sticks? But they're a powdered probiotic and designed, again, for children or adults who have trouble swallowing. But it includes in this one package 5 billion live cells of a unique blend of 6 different probiotic strands. So they're specifically designed for the benefits for young children. So these probiotics have been, blended into, it's super delicious. It's strawberry melon flavored. And it can be poured, directly into their mouth. Or, if they want to drink it in some water, they can do it that way. But that's these ones. My kids absolutely love them. The primary benefits of them, again, I mentioned that it's 5 billion live cells of 6 strands of friendly flora. And that's how you're going to keep a healthy gut, right? Your second brain is your gut. It's your gut health is linked back to your overall vitality. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're replenishing and supporting a healthy gut flora. These are, you want to keep them at room temperature, and, out of, harsh locations, right? So you're not going to stick them right in front of your kitchen window or anything like that. But these have prebiotics in them as well. And that is to help with a healthy balance of, again, beneficial, friendly flora. It helps maintains an intestinal microflora as well, and balance that out within the gut. And it supports a healthy function of the digestive and immune system. So lots of reasons on why using PB Assist Junior. I should start taking these ones. I take the big girl ones, PB Assist, and I love them. I have definitely been figuring out my body a little bit more since being on Lifelong Vitality. But definitely being on a probiotic and making sure that there's a prebiotic. Activia is just really good marketing, okay, folks? There is not the right kind of cultures in yogurt needed to support your body in the way that you need it to, okay? You want to make sure that, if you are looking to help your kids thrive, focusing in on their gut health, obviously nutrition is key, but then making sure that you are supplementing their nutrition as well, because our food's not as nutrient dense as it once was, okay? And this will just help them have not just a healthy gut, but the whole GI tract, and just having a healthy brain and nervous system is a key one, okay? Even if your kids have respiratory issues, probiotics is going to be a key one. So now what? It's a lot of information. Some of the other key things that I use, I forgot to grab it from the bathroom, is the gel that you put on cuts and scrapes. It's called Correct X, and it looks like a little tube of polysporin, only it's natural polysporin. It's already got in it frankincense, helichrysum. I used it this morning, actually. And before you have to put on your 20 Band-Aids, get some Correct X on it. I've honestly had the same tube for 4 years. Okay. I did notice this morning I'm starting to have to squeeze it, so I'm going to have to get a new one. Another thing that I use a lot of is this Breathe Stick. So the Breathe Stick, it's like rolls up like a deodorant, okay? And it's gel, but this is Easy Air. So it's called Breathe in the States. And when my daughter was coughing last night, to open up her airways, rolled this on her chest, her back, and the bottoms of her feet. Just a really convenient way to get this on your kiddos. And then I also am bringing out, because we will be here before we know it, TerraShield. I really encourage you guys. I know this is overwhelming, but as soon as you can, start to make over the things that you're using in your home. Okay, quick win. Get rid of candles and plugins. Get rid of them, so your house doesn't smell like apple pie. That's fine. Another quick win would be getting a diffuser. Okay, so I mean, you can find these anywhere. doTERRA has some cool ones, but I mean, when it comes to using the tools, you need to use your essential oils. I promote doTERRA's essential oils for sure. but I mean, the tools you need to use them, you can scoop those up anywhere, right? Get a diffuser and, you know, even just choose one facet that you want to master. So maybe it's sleeping, maybe it's energy, maybe it's immune support, maybe it's allergies, maybe it's homework time, whatever rang true for you as I was speaking. Maybe it's emotional support. You know your kids best, right? But get a diffuser and get that oil that's recommended to support that. Okay. If you need those, I recommend getting your own wholesale account. You would pay what I pay anyways. That means you get 25% off. Okay. It's just like having a Costco account. You just like you would pay Costco to have a membership there and then get wholesale prices. Same concept. You can pay doTERRA $42 and then you get 25% off forever. It just gets shipped right to your house. So super convenient way to do that. If emotions were ringing true for you, the emotional oils are actually an enrollment kit where you can get, you know, free oils and free diffuser with a free wholesale account. So maybe making over your medicine cabinet was a big one for you. I would recommend the Home Essentials Kit to get started with. It's personally the one I got started with. You're going to get 15 ml bottles of your top 10 oils with a free diffuser in it. So, I mean, if you're looking for some of the ways that you can save money, definitely message me and I can get you hooked up with that. And, you know, as we either come out with sourcing new essential oils, or if they come out with new blends, you can even get, you know, a wholesale account and then create, you know, your own kit with, you know, getting the kids line or whatever. But definitely get started with your wholesale account. It's the absolute best bang for your buck. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. It's not easy talking about change. But talking about change when it comes to our kids is worth it, right? I mean, our lives were changed when we had our kids, right? And I know my life was changed when I started, you know, using these products and starting to look at my health in a completely different way, looking at my kids' health, right? It was dramatically changed. So, you know, this is why now I feel a moral responsibility to share and empower others the same way that I was empowered. So if you have any questions about that, happy to help you. You know, if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, please feel free to post them. Or if you have any other quick wins that you've used to support your family as you know, life is happening, please feel free to post those as well. Wishing you guys a happy Monday. See ya.